If you and me talk over Signal, nobody can look at what we discuss.
Yeah.
But they know I am talking to you. In what we want to build, you will not be able to prove I am talking to you.
Okay.
Recently, Gav came back to lead the company. He decided to be much more product focused, which I think is an excellent idea. I'm super pleased with asset migration.
That was slick.
It has been done super professionally. It means Parity can really do a major migration without impacting people. PVM should be good when you start to compute a lot more, do things on-chain that are currently doing off-chain because you don't have the capacity to do it on EVM. I think the root of the problem is that very few people need a parachain. People need a parachain later in the process, when they get product market fit and they want to scale something, then suddenly parachain are a much better product than L2 on Ethereum or an EVM stack. I am a great fan of going after things quarter after quarter.
The launch team wishes you a good luck and Godspeed.
Space Monkeys, blasting off again with Pierre Aubert. He's the VP of Engineering at Parity. Very lucky to have him on the show with us to tell us about what he's learned since he was on the show last time. Because I think we got you on the show
2 years ago, I think.
A few months into your tenure, actually. So we're going to learn about everything that he's seen and what it looks like going forward. Pierre, welcome back to the show.
Thank you. Welcome, everyone.
You were working at Google before, and I think you were trying to put together what this Web3 networking system kind of looked like and where you could lend a hand. What have you learned since then?
So now I have a much better idea on how it works and some good ideas on what we could do with it. So the system has a lot of potential and there is a lot of things that could be done, but it's complicated to go there. And what we have seen in Web3 is outside of DeFi, there is not a lot of things that make a lot of progress. So recently, Gav came back to lead the company.
Yeah.
And he decided to be much more product focused, which I think is an excellent idea.
Yeah, you've been talking about this.
I think 2 years ago, the idea was that Parity would build the chain and people will build application. And for whatever reason, didn't happen. So the idea now is to build a lot of small applications, more like prototypes, that can demonstrate to people how to use a decentralized system and prove people you can build a decentralized application that is useful. So first thing first, we need to build the apps. And we want to dog food them. Dog food means Parity will use them. So a lot of the first application we want to build, that's things we use every day. And we just want to replace them by a decentralized system. And when we have done that, and when they are good enough, because they are used internally and we think they are good, the next phase is to get users. So if you want an example, when you go to the Web3 Summit, we are not really using our technology.
Right.
So you get a ticket, but from a traditional Web2 company.
Yeah.
You buy that online with euros. If you have an access control system, to know if you can enter the conference. It's also a Web2 system. So for example, that's an area where we can easily use the technology we have to make a good system for that.
Those systems work so efficiently, so reliably. What's the point of putting it into a Web3 system at all?
If you believe that a centralized system can do it, that's fine, especially for tickets. But for example, for access control, it's more important if the system is decentralized. I can give you an example. You go to an hotel and you get a badge, and the badge allows you to go inside the room. But in practice, a lot of people can mint a badge. Anyone in the hotel basically can create another one and allow anyone to come inside. With a Web3 system, you will be the only one that can mint one. And that would improve your security. So for example, depending on the use case where it's easy to explain why it's better. One of the things I don't like, for example, when I use all these web service on the internet, is every 6 months, one of them lose a lot of data. With usually my address, my password, my credit bank detail or whatever, and they leak because they are just not secure enough. And one of the things I hope we will get from Polkadot is that will be secure by default. There is no, because I own my data. I don't share my address with you when I get a ticket. I don't need to. Maybe I will share a ZK proof that I live somewhere, but you will not know my address. So even if you get hacked, I will not lose my address. I don't want my data to leak all the time, everywhere.
Yeah.
Maybe because it's not safe or just because privacy is important. So even basic systems like that, which are super well done in the current world, they would be better if they were decentralized.
Great. Your work to build these decentralized systems has been pretty fierce the past 2 years. Can you talk a little bit about what has gone well with the company since you took over VP of engineering role?
I have applied a lot of like management 101 and best practices to Parity. Nothing super complicated, but just like doing things in a reasonable way. And that has improved a lot of stuff. So it has improved productivity, like just basic stuff, like people like organized system, and especially engineers. They like things to be in a box. Where the rules are clear and people are playing with rules they understand. That has bring, for example, fairness. We promote the right people. We pay more if you work better. And we can do that in a reliable way. And engineers love that. Like the fact, if you are paying more than me, it means you are better than me. And this fairness has been appreciated. And I also like it. I think it's a good way to think about how to run an organization.
For other people who may be managing, maybe even a smaller team, what's a trick or two that you can use to assess people, decide whether or not to promote them or give them more access? What do you look for when people are rising?
So we are much more focused on the outcome than on how you do your thing.
Okay.
A typical example is some people are working a lot, and I acknowledge the fact they are working hard. But at the end of the day, it does not work. And you have more positive impact if you make it work. And if you are smarter, for example, if you can do that working 20 hours a week, but it works, it's better than if you work a lot. So it's much more important to work smartly than to work a lot.
What are some qualities of employees or workers that you see that are common among people who can't make it work in the end? Maybe they spin the wheels, but nothing happens. What do these people have in common?
Usually it's not their fault. Usually they are badly managed. So usually what's happening, it's not super clear to them what they should do.
I see.
And the lack of clarity is making their life complicated. And usually, like when you observe people, especially at Parity, where people are fairly good, when it does not work, it's because it's not clear. So bringing the clarity, exactly what we want to do, is important. The other stuff which is important is, sometimes there are questions. People don't know where to go. I don't know what to do. But you need someone to talk to. And the someone to talk to is not always completely clear at Parity. And I think one of the things we have improved is to make that clear. Who is accountable to do something?
I see.
Because the accountable person, at the end of the day, need to take the decision.
Yeah.
Do I go on the left or do I go on the right? And if you do that well, people are unblocked, and then they can work.
Yes, I think we felt that previously, where people were constantly able to pass the buck.
So that's an example.
The decision needs to be made by someone else. I'm waiting for them to make it, and then I'll get to work or finish.
So accountability is important at the end of the day. And it's not complicated to make it clear. And sometimes I think just writing things down is helpful. If you want an example of a bad behavior, is a lot of people claim, hey, it's a success, it's because of me. Oh, it fails, it's your fault. And that's not okay. Like, you cannot claim the success, and when there is a failure, telling it's somebody else. So the clarity is just bringing like these things that made the organization works better. It doesn't really change your life day to day, but at the end of the day, the whole organization works better.
So the Polkadot Hub project, let's say 2 months from now, let's say it's January, are we going to look back and say that project was a success or a failure?
So yes and no. I think it's a success, or it will be a success soon in terms of quality.
Quality.
The end product is good.
Really?
Where I think we could have done a better job is how we work. So I can give you an example. When we started the project, we thought that PVM, like Polkadot VM, was the thing. It was make sense to change the technology and go to PVM because it's much faster.
Right.
And after a year, we realized that most of the large smart contracts on Ethereum, they don't work on PVM. And that was a surprise. That's something we should have tested earlier. But we underestimated the complexity of the EVM ecosystem.
Ah, okay.
And then we realized, we also need EVM. And then we backported an EVM stack inside Revive, and the project gets more complicated.
Yeah.
We underestimated a few other stuff, like how complicated is testing in Ethereum land, things like Anvil and so on. We underestimated the complexity of gas mapping and a few things. So what we have learned from the process is that we need to write more at the beginning to be sure we are doing the right thing, especially when it's complicated. So now, like in crypto, someone is telling me, YOLO, that looks easy. I am asking for a doc. And maybe it's easy, and maybe it's not, and very often it's not easy at all.
Right.
And that means projects take a much longer time frame and much more resources than initially anticipated. So I think the hub will be a success in terms of like performance, quality, and whatever, but it took way too long to build because our engineering practices are not where they should be.
Got you. Were you involved at all with putting the hub to work? I think there's been some effort to bring over projects.
I am not the technical expert, but I did put in place the right people to get this thing organized, and I set some standards of quality such that things work. For example, like I'm super pleased with asset migration.
Yeah, that was slick.
Yes, but there is tons of work behind that. It has been done super professionally. It means Parity can really do a major migration without impacting people. So this is a good example that it's doable. And that's not startup quality work. It's like big tech quality work. So it takes time and resources, but we can do great stuff when we want to do them great. And this is a super positive feedback for the future. It means if we have the same quality in the next project we will do, tech will not be an issue.
So we've built this environment that we hope is easy to deploy on projects that are familiar with EVM or Solidity smart contracts. They can come here. Can you speak at all to the projects that could be deploying in the early days? And what is that deployment going to look like? Is it going to be in the EVM and with a move to PVM, or what does that look like?
I think it depends. So for the big contracts, the big names in Ethereum, they don't want or they don't have an incentive to move to PVM.
Okay.
So we will deploy their smart contract, or they will do it because it's compatible by definition, so it's easy, you just deploy it.
These are the blue chip DeFi protocols that are deployed, everywhere.
Or whatever you want. Yes.
Yeah.
The key reason why all these guys do not benefit from PVM is that they are not doing a lot of computations.
Right.
Most of these smart contracts, at the end of the day, they read how much money you have on your account, they do some stuff, and they write how much you have at the end.
Okay.
So they don't compute much.
Right.
And it means in EVM, it goes fast enough. The time is dominated by the time to read the data and write the data.
Okay.
PVM should be good when you start to compute a lot more. And you should be able to do things on-chain that are currently doing off-chain because you don't have the capacity to do it on EVM.
Like what sort of things?
You could compute ZK snarks.
Ah, okay.
You can compute, I think, a lot of things in practice and do it real-time on-chain, on PVM, and that was not possible with EVM.
Okay.
I think that's positive for crypto. Like, the more stuff are on-chain, the less you have like funky possible behavior by oracles or whatever, like on the side. So it's globally good that people can move stuff, do more stuff on-chain.
Yeah.
If crypto is following Web2, people will use a CPU. Every time you give more CPU to people, they find a way to use it.
Okay. So this move to products, Gavin came to the Parity retreat and he came on stage and he said that his ideal is to be doing these 2-week product cycles. He wants to just bang out products, bang, 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 to build up to it, not to start, but to get there. These products, are they going to be utilizing PVM and the hub? Or are they going to be somewhere else on the stack?
It depends on the product, but most of them will use some smart contract, yes.
Oh, okay. Okay. So probably not the Rollup parachain model for most of these
I think
projects.
it depends. It's a bit too early to tell. For example, for storage or notifications, that will be separated parachains.
Okay.
For things like, access control, smart contract is doing that super well.
Okay. How is the storage project going? I feel like we've started different storage projects many times, but we haven't really settled on
No.
a full idea
So
here.
that's one of the biggest and most complicated things we need to do.
Okay.
We need to have a decentralized storage that works.
Right.
Just defining what works mean is complicated.
Okay.
So I think that will take a few iterations. We have the various team in the ecosystem building part of it. Moonbeam is also building one.
Wait, are you speaking of like the data haven?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have Data Haven.
Yeah.
You have Hydra, which is also building a bunch of primitives. We have like a built-in in-chain, which is built internally at Parities, and we will
bulletin
have,
chain, right,
we
yeah.
will have JamDA.
Yeah.
So there is a lot of initiative to provide some kind of decentralized storage with various kind of properties. And I think we need more than one. We need a cheap decentralized storage. Like you want to upload your pictures. Cannot be too expensive. We need something which is more like fast. You can read and write on it. Not a large amount of data, but it needs to be fast.
Okay.
So for storage, we will very likely have multiple kind of storage solution. Maybe one software with multiple configuration or multiple different platform. Like the current way of thinking is that we will use JamDA. And JamDA is ephemeral storage. So after, I think, 28 days, your data disappears.
Unless you bump it up.
Yeah, you can bump it up, or we could build a large distributed and decentralized system behind it, and you could decide to store the data for long term. Like, for example, I don't know, if you write a research paper and you want the research paper to be online all the time, that would be the way to do it. So it could be also a two-stage system.
What are the qualities of this system that something like IPFS doesn't satisfy?
So IPFS doesn't provide you, for example, a readability guarantee. It means you can upload a document, but there is not guarantee you can read it.
Ah, okay.
Which, depending on your use case, is a problem or not.
And all these solutions that you mentioned there, are all of those going to be ultimately secured by Polkadot?
Polkadot, yes.
Under Polkadot security in the end?
At the end, yes.
Okay.
At the beginning, maybe not.
What do you mean?
But for example, we could use Filecoin
Yeah.
and put a layer on top and see if that's good enough. And over time, when we mature, like the solution we want to build, they would replace Filecoin or whatever.
Okay.
Not super well defined yet.
Okay.
I think there is, next step is to get like built-in in-chain working, then JamDA, and then the other stuff. So it will take some time before like it's a stable solution. Storage is different from compute. You know, what they say, like for compute, something is not working, you just do it again. And we are used to it. Like something is not working in the browser, hit F5 and like reload the stuff and it works.
Yeah.
With storage, it's a bit more complicated. Like if you put your pictures, I don't know, encrypted online, you want to be able to read them back.
Yeah, right.
Not necessarily on the spot, but you want to be 100% sure you will get your backup at one point. So for storage, like there is more expectation, I would say, than the compute side.
Yeah. We're getting closer to that, all the components of that kind of cloud or that server that we're looking for.
Step by step, you see that we are rebuilding a lot of the services which are like super prevalent in Web2. They are done now in a decentralized way with different properties, but that's the same kind of system. So we have a compute system, which is Polkadot.
Yep.
We are looking for a storage system. We are looking for a notification system. Like
What does that mean, a notification
Well, if you have
system?
applications,
Yeah.
You want to be notified, someone answer you, make a comment in your doc or whatever. Like you need a notification system.
Oh, okay.
So when I talk to you on the internet, you are behind a firewall, and I am also behind a firewall. It means I cannot open a connection to you directly. So usually you pass through a centralized server, and this centralized server opens up the door and makes the communication, and then we talk end-to-end, fully encrypted.
We start a private room.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
And here we are replacing the central server by a decentralized solution that allow you to do the same thing.
Got you.
Like the systems are the same, except they are more complicated because you want to have additional properties. You don't want to have a central authority. You don't want to have metadata. An example of that is if you and me talk over Signal, nobody can look at what we discuss.
Yeah.
But they know I am talking to you. And in what we want to build, you will not be able to prove I am talking to you.
Okay. What else is missing from this computer?
The scaling part is missing, I think. It's not super clear how we will scale the whole system.
Oh, okay.
So for example, people think we can do 1 million active users easily. And they think that 1 billion active users is not possible today.
Okay.
So first goal, go to 1 million first.
Yes, yeah.
But like the tech should be good enough for that.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I don't think the tech is the main issue. I think building this application in the right way is more complicated than the tech itself. Deciding what is a good application, what is the product that people will use and benefit from, that's the hard part. So tech stuff, it's interesting for engineers, but like outside of the engineers, nobody really cares how you make your sausage and how you build your stuff. I mean, as soon as the idea is good and you have the right application, building them is not that complicated.
Right. Well, I mean, there's the machine, right? And then there's the products, but then there's this missing layer in between, right? This middleware that makes the machine usable. I think this is going to be a focus. By building products, you're going to be kind of building access to the services underneath.
The way I represent that in my head is Polkadot looked like a cloud 25 years ago. People were selling you VMs, network, and disk access. That was the raw stuff.
Okay.
And now if you go to a cloud, nobody's selling you that really. People are selling you a database, for example. Like the layer above. And that's sometimes you have 2 or 3 layers above, and that's the services people use to build application.
That's right.
So one of the things we need to do inside Parity is to build this layer, which is above. So let's say the base layer is the CPU and storage stuff. And then we need to build notification. We need to build, authentication system. We need to build Personhood and all these medium services. And this layer is what we call the platform. And we are creating teams to build that. And the application at the top should be as easy to build in a decentralized world as they are today in Web2. That's a long-term goal.
Okay. How far away are we?
Not too far away. You can build apps today. It's a bit technical, and I think it will get less and less technical over time. And that's why this idea that you can build a prototype in 2 weeks kind of makes sense. Between, whatever machine learning automation tool like Cloud or whatever you want to use, you can build a prototype in 2 weeks.
Sure.
Does not mean you can build an industrial wallet I would put my money in 2 weeks. But I'm sure we can build a prototype in 2 weeks.
That's the idea,
That gives you an idea if you want to, like a prototype good enough, you can show people and tell, hey, do you really want this thing? If I build it right, would you use it? I think that's the level we want to go.
That's the idea,
And then, of course, it will be more than 2 weeks. But that's nice. AI is giving us like an opportunity to build prototype extremely quickly.
Totally.
And that will change, I think, how we build a lot. At the same time, it's true for other people too. And that's where I think that the key differentiation from Polkadot is on the decentralization aspect. I think we are the only one that really want to build like this decentralized application. If we do it right, then we are different from others.
Awesome.
What we need to check is that it's really what people want.
I think that has been one of your focuses over the past few years, or customer success, really. We had all these parachains, these roll-ups deploying on Polkadot with varying levels of success.
That's a good summary. I think we had like limited success into convincing people we have a good offer.
Or they were convinced and they came over and they found themselves, wishing they had more support or more access to the vision that they believe they're getting into.
I think the root of the problem is that not nobody, but like very few people need a parachain. People need a parachain later in the process. Once they get product market fit and they want to scale something, then suddenly parachain has a much better product than L2 on Ethereum or an EVM stack.
But it was funny because that's all that we offered in the beginning.
Yes, and that was a mistake. And that's why we created the Hub. And I think the Hub will put us on par with the others, with potentially a better escape path. So if you build your prototype on the Hub and it works and you want to scale, then there is an option for scaling. If you do DeFi only, it's not really an argument because DeFi is not that fast. What we have seen, for example, on Ethereum, Base is scaling a lot just with one L2. That's because they just do DeFi. If you do other kind of applications that need more CPU, memory, disk space, and whatever, you cannot scale. So it all depends as often how the market will move. And we need to be smart on building things that people need. or we can create the need.
Yeah. We have had some successes in the parachain ecosystem, though, or some projects that maybe need the space. Maybe, or are there any successes that you can point to?
Yeah, so some people are using, I think, the parachain and they're happy with it.
Yeah.
Peak, Accurast is doing great. Moonbeam, like Tensy, like all these guys, they are like using the system, even if they don't necessarily acknowledge as much. They are running on Polkadot, but they are.
Yeah.
So we have example of people that are using the system, like they benefit from the tech. We also have other blockchain using our SDK.
Yep.
So the tech is not the issue.
No, not at all.
Tech is good enough. What we need to learn is to build product, the right product.
Two focuses that Gab is really laying out here besides product. You mentioned it before, proof of personhood. Do you want to talk a little bit about that and what that could unlock?
I think it's a super, super hard problem.
Yeah.
But I think if we can do it well, there is a lot of potential. I love the concept.
Me too. The other project is his stablecoin project, which kind of fits into this larger economic reform that he's doing. How do you think it's going to fit into the whole product vision?
So at the product level, the stables will be used. Like you will transact in stables.
So,
and I think that's a good idea people-wide. I think it's hard to reason about a crypto token because it's going up and down like crazy.
Yeah.
And in the day-to-day, at least, I think it's hard to, or at least I have a problem to think about it as real money or whatever. A stable, by definition, is stable, it's $1 or whatever. And I think if I have an app and I need to pay $2, that means something. I can reason about that.
Exactly.
And I think for most people, it's the right thing to do. Token is more for investment. But for payments, stables is a better idea. So I think talking about stables is the right thing in the app.
Are you involved, or are you going to be involved in the engineering of the stablecoin at all?
So engineering, depends what you mean engineering. I want to read in great detail the algorithm. And I want to be sure the testing will be extensive because if it's a stable coin, I want it to be stable.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen entire market cycles be destroyed by a stablecoin.
Yes, so that's why I think it needs to be done well.
Yeah.
We are starting with something which is a proven design, but experience proved in the past. Like if you configure it badly, it could work badly. So this is something that requires like extensive testing.
At the same time, I feel like the timelines are pretty condensed because we did this issuance change.
I think that timelines are one thing, and like when things are going out is something else. So stable should go out when it's stable, and we are all convinced it's stable.
Okay, I see. But you feel the pressure, yeah? Like it seems.
You feel the pressure all the time. Like there is 50 projects. All these projects are linked together. They all depend on each other. So of course there is pressure because if one is late, the whole like constellation of things that depend on each other are delayed. But still, like for some things, you want to do it right.
I think this is one of the points you made on stage at the Parity Retreat was things take a lot longer than people say they will.
Yes.
And I guess you've reconciled that that's okay. It's okay to take the time to get it right?
It depends. So I think, in general, estimating the time it takes is important to do well. Underestimating the complexity is not helpful.
Yeah.
And depending on the project, you want to be more or less sure it works. If it's a security thing, you want to be super sure. If it's a stable coin, you want to be super sure. If it's a game, it's a game.
Yeah, I see.
So it depends.
Going forward, next 6 months, what's the mission?
So the next quarter is completely full. We are building the first prototypes to learn about what we want to do and how we want to do it. And Q1 should be, so we finish the hub before Christmas. And when the hub is gone, we can recover a lot of resources and start to build a lot more apps in parallel.
Yeah.
So Q1 is a lot more apps. And we start to build this system that will support all the apps.
Okay.
And what I expect will happen in 26 is every quarter we build more apps. The more apps we build, the more we understand what needs to go into this middle layer. There is a lot of things you don't want to do twice. If we tell, for example, we do identification on Personhood, that should be the same everywhere.
Yeah, of course.
All the apps need to work in the same way, and they need to have the same icon for authentication or connecting to your wallet. So there is a lot of common components, And the more common components we have, the easier it is to build an app, because there's a lot of things you don't need to think about. How I do payment, how I do on-ramp, how I do off-ramp. Like all these things will be done once and for everyone.
Yep.
And then over time, the velocity will increase.
Gavin laid out these different categories for products, and he's dividing products into two categories, main categories, life and spaces. Which buckets are you most curious in personally to apply the Web3 design and tech?
All of them are interesting. The question in which order we do them.
Oh, okay.
I think there is an easier case for the B2B market. Mostly because the legal ecosystem is clearer. For example, if we replace the service we use at Parity for hiring, for paying people, etc., by decentralized services, we can sell that to a company. Another startup would benefit from it.
Company enterprise, operational tools.
This one is like everybody understands the context, how it works, the dynamic, how you make a contract, how you make money out of it.
It would be cool if we could like start doing collaborative documents, for example.
So this one is coming. We are building not Google Doc, but like a HackMD kind of stuff, decentralized. That's an interesting use case because there is a lot of services that are working on the same pattern. You want to save something somewhere, you want to get notified.
That's basically a forum,
Yeah, but that's a chat, a video communication tool, a Google Doc, a Google Sheet, or whatever. All these things, technically, they are the same. So if you know how to do one well, you can imagine to build. This is just the front end what's changed. The nature of the document you manipulate, but if not, it's the same thing. So this one is interesting because it unlocks a lot of similar things. I don't know, in 6 months, I will have a better idea on how fast we can go. What's the quality of what we can do in a quarter, for example? Is it good, good enough, not good at all? And then we will see.
Cool.
I am a great fan of going after things quarter after quarter.
So big quarter ahead. All right, so company enterprise. I'm really interested in I like the party ticket bucket, but the company enterprise as well. I think it would be really neat to have cooperatively owned spaces and operated spaces in neighborhoods. I think that's something that I would like to do after Polkadot is working, something I'd like to move on to do, something that we could empower.
In the real space, I think it's more complicated than just technology. Imagine, for example, like the use case of the hotel room. If your phone is dead, how do you go inside? If you are locked in the elevator, you still want to be able to call someone locally that will come and get you out. So it's a lot more than just the tech. It's a tech plus possibly a lot of local logistic. You know, hardware system fail. And when they do, you need someone close by that knows how to repair them. So these things will take more time in practice. I'm sure we can make prototypes in some places like the Palace, etc. But to make that an industrial system, it will take a lot of time.
I think it's a direction that Gav is really interested in exploring.
Yes, and you think about it, the use case is good. Like, again, because you leak your data, your personal data, you care a lot about, you leak them everywhere. You go to an hotel, give them your passport, and they make a copy. Like, I guess there are hundreds of copies of my passport everywhere. Like, it's like a public document. Like.
Exactly. Very strange,
And it's not supposed to be.
I know, Are you still hiring at Parity? Are you still,
we are hiring,
what roles?
I think, at least 50 people next year.
50 more people? What talent are you looking
software
for?
Developers. No.
Okay.
We are like mostly a software development company.
What qualities should they possess? What personal qualities are you looking for?
So my favorite, curious, align with Web3. I don't think it's mandatory, but I think it helps a lot to understand like the why. And if you don't have that and you are curious, you will learn about it. Autonomous, easy to work with. Willing to learn and have fun.
And for everybody watching who isn't a software designer but wants to support Parity and support you, what should people be doing?
There is a lot of things that I believe we are not super good at.
Okay.
So one is, when you build something, you're convinced you're building the right thing. Because that's how you would use it. We need other people to look at what we do and tell us, hey guys, you could do better.
Okay.
That is what I want. And this is something which is hard to get properly internally. On top of that, internally, like you kind of self-reinforce yourself. I use it, I like it, I build what I like. And then you build your product. which is not what you should do. You should build a product that is useful to a lot of people. It's important to do it internally first, because at least the quality is good enough. Like, for example, for me, a product I don't use personally means it's not good enough.
Yeah.
So that's the first good check. Technically working, but then it needs to be good enough that people at Parity are using it.
Okay.
And then we can talk to other people. But we will need a lot of other people to understand like exactly how we can make that useful. Especially if we want to go worldwide.
Yeah.
It's hard to imagine what people are used to. Culture is different. Country by country, people have different expectations. They're using things in different way. And you need to listen to the feedback and aggregate that feedback to build the right product.
Okay, great.
The other thing we could benefit from is people that want to work with us without being inside Parity. Like we have a lot of collaboration with, for example, Kagome, ChainSafe. And this, I think, is very good. I don't think Parity can build everything.
Right.
So working smoothly with us is super useful.
Well, maybe we can achieve some of that on the Kus platform here. We can get people using the products, get some feedback going.
Absolutely.
And keep smoothing out this whole Parity, Open Gov junction. And make it as productive as possible. Let's see what we can do. Let's give it 6 months and see what we can do.
Absolutely.
Pierre, thanks very much for coming on the show and for all your hard work. And we'll check in with you very soon.
Yeah, okay.